Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Bolt again, and I'm here to give you a quick mini lecture on how to use text evidence in our reading assignments. So, first of all, what is text evidence? You might be a little bit confused about that, but don't worry, I'm here to explain it. So, text evidence is the English equivalent of showing your work in math class. Do you remember when you took algebra, how your teacher was always telling you you have to show your work? Well, in English, we actually kind of have to do the same thing quite often. Text evidence is when we include a piece of writing from another author to back up the points that we are writing ourselves, to provide an example, to expand, to explain, etc. We are essentially just borrowing someone else's words to help our own. This is often called using a quote because it's kept inside quotation marks. So, why do we need text evidence? Well, text evidence helps us in our writing in many different ways. It shows that we have read and understand the other author's words. It shares new thoughts with our readers. It helps to establish trust and credibility with your readers. So, how do we use it? Well, there's a few different ways to share text evidence. In this particular class, we are going to be using something called MLA format. If you've never come across it before, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I have some videos linked in our course for you to watch that will teach you about that. And if you have any more questions about it, just let me know. In our reading assignments, you will be required to use text evidence to prove or explain the points that you make when answering questions. So, we will have several different readings throughout the semester where you will read a short story or an essay or something like that. And there will be several questions to answer about the reading you just did. Well, just answering the question isn't the only thing that I'm looking for. I'm also looking for your ability to show me in the piece of reading that you just did how you came to understand that question. So, we'll answer the question in our own words, but then we show how we know that answer by sharing some of the text we read. You might want to see some examples, so here we go. Let's say that we're answering this. This is question 6. What is the overall tone of the work? For example, we are going to be pretending that we just read Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. So here is a sample answer from a student. Okay, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech has an overall tone of hope, optimism, and determination. On page 2, paragraph 10, it says, "This is our hope. This is faith that I will go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope." By using words like hope and faith, Dr. King was able to help his audience see that he truly believed in his message of equality. Okay, so do you think that this is a good example or a poor example? It's actually a very good example because, number one, it uses complete sentences. So all of this is written in complete sentences. It's very nice. It also provides a very specific example from the text in order to explain their answer. The primary piece of their answer was saying that the speech has an overall tone of hope, optimism, and determination. Well, instead of stopping right there, they actually go into the text and pull a piece of the text to show where they see hope, optimism, and determination. And then they follow up at the end by explaining why that backs up their answer. So they go right after and they say, hope and faith helped to show that he truly believed in it. So here's another example. We're going to answer the same question. Excited and ready to meet the odds, powerful and determined, he was ready to finally see equality. Do you think that this is a good example or a poor example? It's actually a poor example because it uses incomplete sentences, number one. So, excited and ready to meet the odds, and powerful and determined, they actually are not complete sentences. These are fragments. And then also, it doesn't actually explain why that is their answer. Okay, so they say that they think this, but they didn't show us why they think this. And additionally, it doesn't include any text evidence. I don't see where they included a quote from the speech to further explain. All right, here's one more example. What is the overall tone of the work? This is our hope. This is faith that I will go back to the south with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. Do you think this is a good example or a poor example? It's a poor example because it does not answer the question. So it's asking, what is the overall tone of the work? It doesn't mention anything about the tone of the work. Okay. All they did was just copy and paste a quote from the text. Okay. So I do appreciate that they included a quote, but they didn't explain anything about it. Okay. So that doesn't really help us at all. I hope that this was helpful to you and explained a little bit more about how to include text evidence in your answers. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Have a good rest of your day.